G'day, welcome to lesson 5 of the One Tao Kung Fu curriculum. In this lesson we're going to talk about structure. No matter what lineage of Wing Chun you've probably studied, you would have heard about structure. And what is structure? Well, essentially it is your skeletal structure inside of your body. So your structure is essentially, from a physiological point of view, your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments are all connected to your bones. There's a fascial network that runs around it. Without going into that element, your bones essentially are what gives you resistance to gravity. Allows you to stand upright, otherwise you would just be a sack of meat on the ground. So what is structure, and how we've talked about what is structure. Why is it important in Wing Chun? Wing Chun goes from or now One Tao Kung Fu style of Kung Fu. We do a lot of our training in strength, structure and state. And strength is, using your physical muscles, your muscles to move your body. And then we look at structure, using your skeletal structure and your joints to move the body. So instead of moving the shoulder muscles, the deltoids and whatnot, to move the arm, it is the shoulder joint rotates, the elbow joint opens, and the arm goes forward. Why is that important, and why is that part of the curriculum? Because the shapes that make Wing Chun powerful are circular in nature, triangular in nature, and punches and strikes are straight lines. So in order to move your body forceless, you don't do it with tension, because tension allows your opponent to then use it as leverage. So if you hold your arm strong and then have someone push down on it, you'll generally lock in, you'll feel your shoulder go up, and then, depending on how firm you've got it in place, you'll feel the tension in different parts. You can even put it on your own hand and just feel where the tension shows up, the muscular leverage from a biomechanical point, where that comes up. Was it in your back, your upper back, or in the side there? And from there, what we want to do is release that muscular tension, for lack of a better word, and then move with our joints and our bones so that force can travel through the muscular system and down into the ground. But you need to infuse or unify your structure. It's no good going, here's my arm, there's your bone structure, and moving it and having muscular tension around your shoulder. You need to be able to sense your structure, sense the whole space, sense your bones as one unified structure, and then move from there, so that when force comes in, you can draw the force down your arm, down through your shoulder, down the spine, and down into the ground through your legs. So essentially the whole body is unified. I realise my head's off the camera, like, hey, no head, no, I have a head. Master of Margarita joke. So it's important to have your structure that force can travel down through your body, so that you move with the joints to facilitate a forceless motion. Now, how do we train structure? So as part of the state, we sense the whole space, your whole body. And part of the sensing of the whole body is sensing your bones. Now, there's in our way of teaching. It is you draw up from the center, like you're stopping the passage of when you go to the toilet. Just a soft drawing up through the spine, from the tail up to the crown of your head. Obviously your spine stops up in there above A1 before you get to your cranium, but you're sensing that whole space. And what that does is it allows you to have a skeletal structure that your bones are then unified to allow force to come down through that pillar and then down into the ground. So with that, when you've got that, there's other videos that you can look at to know like what is centering, what is sensing. There's other videos you can check out on the link somewhere abouts. And one way to practice this, if you've got a partner, you can practice it by doing exercise number 1. So if I'm practicing my state, I'll hold my arm up like this, for example, be in my stance, and my partner will put incoming force. Now the reason why we hold it up that way as opposed to down that way is because it's easier to get the feeling of force travelling down the arm, down your spine and down into your legs. And generally you'll find it, if it comes on this arm, it'll go to the opposite leg. So right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. Right, and then so what you can do is you can just get your partner to lean on your arm and draw and so you get that experience of drawing force down and in. Then to take it to the next level, you can get them to pulse or to move your arm around, so you still maintain structural integrity, and then that gives you the force, the feeling of moving your joint whilst maintaining structural integrity. So that's if you've got a partner. If you don't have a partner, you can try exercise number 2. So number 2 is essentially you can do this anywhere. You get into your stance. You center yourself, sensing from earth, tail, crown. Sense your center. Now, if you need to, you can close your eyes to allow you to sense into the sensation of it all. But essentially you want to then sense your bones, sense all your whole body, sensing the space as it is, sensing your spine and the bones and everything that flows out. Now you can flow inward from the hands and the feet into your centre, or you can go from your centre and flow outwards. Best thing to do is try both. See what works for you best. And then that's a way of practicing your skeletal structure, and then you can walk around and practice it whilst walking. As you move, staying upright, staying centered, and allowing it's like a leg of ham, right? So you've got the knuckle, the bone down here, and then it goes up to the ham at the top. Now, without structure, it's like putting the ham at the bottom and the bone resting at the top, and the meat just mushes on the table or whatever you've got it on. Turn it around the other way, see the knuckles on the table and the meat's just hanging off. That's what our structure does for us. And it's an important part of the art because it allows you that ability to move without muscular tension or muscular energy driving the movement, which is how a smaller opponent can beat a larger, stronger opponent. One of the elements. But if it's just muscle on muscle, it's who's bigger and stronger wins. Simple, in a way. So yeah, thanks for paying attention. Thanks for hanging around and watching it. So essentially, have fun with it. Go out and try and do your stuff. It's about experience after all. Peace.